Hello friends, happy Makers Monday. Today we are going to be talking about a hot topic. It's all about how to work smarter and not harder in terms of reusing and repurposing content for your social media accounts and for email. Basically all your content. So here's the scoop, y'all. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. So maybe you have email, maybe you have Pinterest, maybe you have Instagram Reels, Instagram TV, Live, blah, blah, YouTube, etc. Like blogs, whatever. No, you do not have to make a unique thing for all of these different platforms every single day. So here are some things that I do to help spread it out and make it not feel so insurmountable. So I like to try to make content with the other platforms in mind. Like I kind of think about it in the sense that like when I'm creating something, it's for one platform specifically, but I can use it across platforms. So for example, I think about like my most complex platforms and then I work backward from there. So the ones that are the trickiest are my YouTube because I'm not as familiar with it. My video editing skills are still growing and evolving. And for my tutorials, we kind of pump the brakes on that as maternity leave has come up. But when I was doing those regularly, like it takes a long time to set up. We're still getting our like filming angles. Yeah, I mean, it just takes time, and it's something that is not autopilot yet. So I start with YouTube and I work backwards. I would say Instagram is probably what I spend the next most amount of time on, my blog, and then my newsletter, and then Pinterest at the bottom. So YouTube is the base layer of most of my video content. So let's say I'm making a tutorial about how to do the bleed technique. So that will be like a full YouTube video. I also then can take that final video and take clips of it for an Instagram teaser that I put on Instagram IGTV. So I'll put like the first couple minutes just to kind of give people a preview of what they'll be learning and say, see the rest on my YouTube channel. So that's content there, which is great. You can also make like a little preview of like, I like to do maybe like a fast version of me going through the actual motions of doing it on a reel. So I'm not like giving away my verbal techniques of how I'm doing it, but I am showing people what kinds of content they can come to expect when they come to my YouTube page. And I want to make sure that I'm directing people to the YouTube page. So I share that on my stories. I share it on my grid. I've got a picture of like the final product that I put on my grid. I have a blog where I will host. You can embed the video and you can also see all the list of the supplies that I use. So a lot of times I use the same supplies. So rather than like, oh gosh, hunting and pecking for all the supplies that I used, I have a list of my most common supplies that I use and I can add as needed, but it has all my affiliate links. So I'm not like having to make these links every time. It's just right there. So that's been really great. Blog posts are great because it's like a hub for all your content. You can like make teasers in all your different, like on your email list, you can make teasers. Oh, and I share this. I share it on my newsletter, in my newsletter, and on Pinterest, like that I've created a video. So that's like hitting all of them. Like that's the big whammy. I would release these on Tuesdays, so I would have like content across the board, and it's awesome. I will say blog posts are kind of my favorite sneaky hack because it's a place where you can direct people to, it's a link where you can say, hey, in my newsletter, like, this is what you're going to be learning about. And you link right to the post, like, and it has my supplies, it has a transcript, so it's good for SEO. Or I'll share, like, I'll write down what we've been learning. It has the video, so it's visually interesting. It's kind of a place where everybody can go and see like all the content that I've made. So I like blog posts because it's like pretty much copy and paste from the YouTube description. I don't really have to add that much stuff. But it's a good place to direct people back to my page, which is linked to my shop, which is like, oh, look at me go. Okay, so I would say, okay, so that's an example of how I would take a YouTube video and kind of make it work for all my platforms. I think something that is helpful for me in doing this is like, I kind of have different days of the week where I post about different things. So Mondays are Makers Monday, shocking to probably none of you. So I will post about it like in my IGTV or on my live, right? If I'm not on maternity leave. I'll post a picture that says what I'm going to be talking about. So it's like a little teaser on my grid. I'll post about it in stories, do like a, hey, this is coming. This is something that I do every week. So I'll do like my little countdown. I'll do one where I can see if people have questions ahead of time. Like it becomes routine because it's like, oh, I know Monday's coming up. So it's not like, what am I going to post on Monday? It's like Makers Monday stuff. So I make a blog after the video has finished downloading. I post it up on my blog. The video is posted on YouTube. I just make like a cover image on Canva. So, I delete last week's and add this week's, and it's become a lot more routine. And there you go. So that's Monday. And then Tuesday, I was doing my Tuesday tutorials. Right now it's a little bit more loosey-goosey. Wednesdays, every other Wednesday is a blog day, so I can share about that. Thursdays are, what are Thursdays? Oh, Thursdays are launch day, or my gift guides. So I'll share, like I always send out as much as possible, I send out my letter to my newsletter of the gift guide for the week. So I'm able to feature like kind of maybe not things that I've been posting about often. And so I can be like, oh yeah, remember this thing? And then, so I'm already making this content for my newsletter. I may as well put it on Instagram, right? I've already made this, and you know what? I'm going to put it on my blog too. And that's where all the links are going to be. Like, it's just kind of copying and pasting the same content. Like if I say, hey, check out this gift guide, perfect for your pun-loving dad who, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Copy and paste into my email, copy and paste into my Instagram caption, copy and paste, like whatever. Like you can just copy and paste it. Nobody is watching you closely enough to be like, I can't believe she used that same copy there. How dare she? No, they'll be like, look at that smart gal making waves and doing it smart. Or if they are annoyed, then whatever, goodbye. And then Fridays, I like to do either like an introduction Friday on Instagram, or I'll do like, I've been doing these feature Fridays of fellow business owners. Saturdays, I like to share something that's like a little more personal, like family life or like whatever. And then Sundays, I try to like do some self-care check-ins, and I don't always post on the weekends, but if I do, like, I just kind of try to have like different categories on different days. So it's not like, oh God, it's Wednesday, what do I do? Also posting ahead of time is helpful because then you can kind of know, like you might have like the week of a launch, you might have you might want to be posting like, so we had our big birthday bonanza. So a lot of my posts related back to birthday themes, or things like that. So it's like you're not reinventing the wheel. Just like use these themes and draw them through. Kind of like when you were in middle school and wrote a 5-paragraph essay and had your thesis statement. Like all of your platforms should basically be supporting your thesis statement. And so we've talked about content pillars, right? So these are the things that kind of hold up your business. These are the things you talk about. These are the 4 or 5 categories that are important to you. If you're ever in a pinch, just talk about your content pillars. Another great thing sometimes that I'll do, I have like a little spot where I write notes in my Trello account, which is just like a way to make lists. But if I have an idea to talk about something, but I'm not quite ready to post about it at the moment, I will put it there so that I can look at it later. And I'm like, oh, like if I'm ever feeling stumped, like I can just refer back to it and be like, oh yeah, I did want to talk about that. Like I wrote something about like how painting with watercolor like kind of helped me let go of like my type A, retentive qualities, and like it's been really nice to kind of let the water take control and things like that. And it was a really like, I mean, I'm saying it kind of dorky right now, but like it was a really beautiful sentiment, and I was like, I feel like this will relate to people, but I wasn't quite at a place where I needed that content yet, but there we go. I could use it later. So in that vein, kind of all over the place, but I'm just going to throw it all at you. In that vein, if you are using like Later for a content planning scheduler thing, or I know Planoly has this, you can also create like groupings of hashtags so that you're not having to reinvent the wheel with hashtags. It's nice to like refresh them, and you don't want to use like all the same ones over and over and over again, because that they'll kind of ding you for that. But what you can do is you can just save like ones for your different content pillars. So like I have some that are like working with your spouse, or some that are good for like the stuff when I post about like working full-time and being a mom, or like when I'm posting about watercolor process. So I've got different hashtag groupings that helps make it really easy to just copy and paste. And I'm not like reinventing the wheel. I'm not like stressing about it. It's just like boom, boom. So that's huge. I also like that it has, if you get the paid version, Later has the ability to like look at suggested hashtags too. So if you're doing something different and you kind of want to see how many hashtags, you can do it right there in the app while you're planning. So, all right, so we're planning, we're thinking about how we can use information across platforms. We are copying and pasting that copy, you guys. These are the things. So if the cross posting seems very overwhelming to you, maybe just pick 2 platforms. Maybe pick, whatever makes sense for you. But like, I think I would probably pick my newsletter and Instagram if I had to pick 2 to start with, just because I like being on Instagram, and my newsletter has been really productive for me in my business in terms of like making money. So no matter what, make one of your things your newsletter, people. Use your newsletter, build your newsletter, no matter what. But then pick another one and just focus on those. It would be my goal, and then you can always add things in later. Oh yeah, so another big tool that I find that's helpful is Canva. Canva has been huge just in making, like, it can help you make vertical videos fit on a horizontal frame. Like all my YouTube videos I try to make them vertical because that's the format, but then if I want to preview it on my Instagram, I can make it, or you can kind of add like stuff on the top and bottom so that it doesn't look just like an empty page. I also think Canva can help keep your branding consistent. So we have kind of these like paint splatter stuff in the background of a lot of our packaging. So I'll use that on our different promo things. We can keep our brand colors. It helps you keep your brand colors. You can store your logo in there. So it's really easy to kind of create that branded look in your different content pieces. And then you can have templates. And like I was saying, for my Makers Mondays, like those cover photos for all of my IGTVs are just through Canva. And it's not like I'm making a new one each time. I just delete what last week's was and just add the new one. And it's like, no sweat, ready to go. So I've definitely liked Canva. I know other people use different programs, but it's been super easy to use. It's very drag and droppy, which I love. So now I'm gonna read some questions that people have had, that people sent in. So someone said, lately when I take photos of my work, I take shots at different angles. That way, if I need to recycle content for social, I can use a different photo, but use the same caption. Great pro tip. This is excellent, excellent, excellent. I always take like a top down. I take one like at this angle and at this angle, because if you don't want them like to be all like from this angle. I mean, maybe you do, but like I find I don't like seeing two next to each other. Like I need a little bit more variety. So this is a really, really great point. Don't skimp on your photos when you're doing your product photos. Make sure it's on brand. Make sure it's paired with things that go with your colors, with your vibe. If you're more minimalist, get like a simple background that's minimalism. If you are like color explosion, like what I'm into, make sure you've got your confetti or like things to make it fit your brand. Like that's been huge. Like I love having my flowers up here because it's very much that like color explosion, texture, blah, that I love, and that I want to, that feeling that I want to evoke in my stuff. So it's helpful when my office space matches the vibe that I'm going for. It's gonna sound nuts, but I also I feel like I'm starting to buy clothes or wear clothes that fit with my color branding. Like I'm wearing more yellows and more of that like nice kind of pink and oranges, and it's just been easier that way. If I'm working on something or I need to like hop on a video, like this sounds really like I never thought I'd be this person, but it's just easier because it's like looks on brand, you know? I have a stick of lipstick here in my office if I need to like get fancy for something. So yada, yada, yada. So that would be my, yeah, I totally agree with Kristen, who's saying she takes different photos, different angles. Great. Another pro hack is if you've got a whole setup, like for a flat lay, take one with a blank card so that you can then, if you have another card that you're adding to that collection or a blank product or just empty, you can Photoshop in your other design. Like we did this with the birthday cards where we have the flat lays and I have the different photo angles. And this way, if we add more cards to the birthday collection, which we're not done, but this was just part of the one that we released now. We're always going to add more. So we can recreate that look and it can still look cohesive, but it's not, without reinventing the wheel. So that's another great pro tip. Let's see. This one says, yes, please. I need all the tips. I find that my feed, when I get overworked, ends up with too many graphics and not enough representation of my actual work. Feels icky. How do you make it feel fresh when you reuse things? So I think this is a great question. Again, taking tons of photos. I think different types of photos, so not all flat lays, like also have a couple of you working or your hands. And it doesn't have to be like professional photo shoot. It can be like your workspace. If you're getting good light in your office, like set up some pictures of like your tools, or what are the types of things that you're talking about? Like, what are your content pillars? If a big part of your content pillar is education, what are you educating on? Like, what are you trying to share? If it's about brushes, show them in action, show other people using them, ask for people to take pictures of themselves. Like if you do commissions, ask if you can get pictures of your pieces in other people's homes. So those are some good options to kind of, you're still using, maybe it's all the same artwork, but you're getting multiple pictures of it. Especially for folks who are doing commissions who are like sending it off into the world. Make sure you get pictures of it before you send it off, because you want to have record of your hard work. Okay, so this person said, I totally reuse tons of stuff. I do batch photos and often have hundreds of pictures to choose from at any time. I don't set a social media schedule. I like to post what I feel in the moment. So again, different strokes for different folks. I'm a scheduler, shocking to no one. Other people are not. They want it to be like more off the cuff and what they're focusing on right now, which is totally fine and absolutely valid. But it is good to have just tons of pics. Occasionally, if I'm just not feeling in the mood to like paint or do work, I will just set up I've got like one of each of my products in a little, like all of our inventories in the house, but I've got a drawer with like one of each of our products. So I can make like combinations of things, say like, oh, this would be great for somebody who likes this or whatever. I could take pictures of my supplies, or me like progress pictures of things that I'm currently working on. It's also another great way to kind of batch reels. I know reels are like hitting hard in the algorithm, like people really want to see reels. So you can save the music, make a list of the reels that you want to do, and on those days that you're like feeling like getting a little silly, you can reuse, or you can batch those reels and then save them and post them throughout. So that's another good one. And then you have those clips too. Like those clips aren't useless. Like if you have one that's like where you're pointing, you can reuse that for another pointy video. Or if you have like a swipe of like going across your products, like it doesn't have to just be for that reel. You can have that and use that in other purposes. Like Pinterest now lets you use video. Fair, if you're on Fair, I think Etsy does too. You can use video content to showcase your work. So if you're already making the video, you may as well post it everywhere, right? Okay. So then, oh yeah, and so somebody else said throwbacks and remakes of older works is what they do. So that's a great point. You can do like, here's where I was, here's where I am. If you don't want like your old work on your grid, which I can be a little bit of a grid snob, like you can say, here's where I am now, like scroll past to see my journey of where I've like, of how I've grown or whatever. And then the last one can do a side by side, and then you have the carousel, and you're using more features of Instagram, which Instagram likes, and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, these are a few tips and tricks. I would love to hear from you guys. What is your biggest platform? What is your favorite platform to create content for? I would like for mine to be YouTube, but it's not. I would say, I mostly enjoy, like I enjoy Instagram, and I also really enjoy writing my blogs. So what are your go-tos? What are your favorite ones to do? And let's brainstorm. Like if you are looking for a homework assignment to like get you off the ground and running, take a piece of content, like, you know, think about it. Think about how you can reuse that on all your various platforms. Like if it's a picture or if it's a video or whatever, like make that piece of content and think about how you can use it in all the other contexts, and then tell me about it. How did it go? Like, do you feel like such an accomplished human? Woo! Yeah, okay, I'm gonna head out, but I can't wait to hear if any of these tips are helpful. If you would like to join the BizBuds newsletter for more tips and tricks and a weekly digest of all of this information combined into one delightful weekly email, join in the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, or if we're watching this on YouTube, it is in the description below. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.